Hi everyone and welcome to the University of Plymouth's Virtual Open Day. My name's Dr. Ed Braund and you're watching the programme talk for the BSc Computing, Audio and Music Technology degree. So before I go any further into the nuts and bolts of the programme itself, what I thought I'd do is just give you a bit of an overview of where this course has come from. So this is a brand new degree that we're offering here at the university, and we've developed it over the past 2 years in very close collaboration with industry. And the whole idea and purpose of this degree was born out of a need in industry for graduates who can not only use existing audio and music technologies effectively, but have the core computing skills to develop those types of tools. So while studying on this degree, you'll be taught to become an effective practitioner at using audio and music technologies in studio and live sound settings, but you'll also gain the core and very liberating computing skills that allow you to create these tools and be able to shape the future and innovate. So a graduate of this course would be able to work in the creative sectors, so in live sound, for example, or studio engineering, but would also be qualified to work in software development. You don't need to be a musician to join this course, just someone with new ideas, vision and passion for all things technology. So now let's have a quick look at the course itself. So every student studying full-time on an undergraduate programme in the UK has to achieve 120 credits per year. Now the way those credits are split up into individual modules depends completely on the university and the individual discipline. So you'll quite often see degrees with 1 module, 2, 4, 6 or 8 modules a year. In the case of this course, we have 4 modules per year. So we've taken those 120 credits and divided them up into 30 credit modules. Now, students on this degree should expect to be taught in the classroom for about 16 hours per week, and on top of that you'll have an expectation to undertake prep work for your lectures and workshops. So this might be working in computer labs, or it may be working in the recording studio and things like this. The university year at Plymouth runs from the end of September through to about the end of May, and we split that time up into 2 semesters. First semester runs from the end of September to about mid-January, and the second semester runs from around about the end of January through to about to the end of May. Now, each year of this degree programme is themed in a specific way. So the theme of the first year is all about getting students understanding and being able to use both professionally and creatively existing tools in audio and music. So that's being able to use them practically, but also having a really in-depth understanding of the mechanics and science of how they work. So let's have a look at the modules that you'll study in the first year. So semester 1, the first module is Music Fundamentals, Acoustics and Perception. So this module is all about looking at how we work with sound creatively in terms of music, so a bit of music theory. You'll also have a look at the science of sound in terms of acoustics, so you'll have a really in-depth understanding of how sound works in the physical world around us, and also how humans interpret sound through the auditory system. So you'll get to grips with sound perception, and this is really important so you can understand how sound is worked with creatively, how it's worked with and understood scientifically, and also how humans perceive it. So for example, what do we mean when we say that sounds warm, rough or dull? What makes something sound nice to humans? And these are important things for you to understand if you are planning on developing tools for someone who wants to work creatively, for example. So just below this module we have Creative System Design and Build. So this module will teach students how to use a set of rapid prototyping programming tools to get them starting to build the types of tools that they're used to using in audio, sound and music. It's a module that's kind of designed to start igniting curiosity in students around the limitations of the systems they're using. So you'll understand how a lot of the tools work, and then start to think, oh, could I do this slightly different to make it better, or could I break this and do something slightly different with it? In semester 2, you have the Introduction to Programming module. So this is where we teach you C++. So C++ is a low-level programming language. It's what we call an unmanaged language. And we teach this programming language because it is the one that, if you want to go into audio development after the course, it's the one that you'll need to be able to use. And if you have a really good understanding of C++, you'll be able to move to most other languages as well. So it's a really good language to learn. And this will be taught in a very practical and hands-on way. So you'll be learning the kind of computing theory and computer science theory through programming and building creative and fun tools. So just below the Introduction to Programming module, we have the Audio Engineering module. So this is about teaching you how to use the audio and music technology tools that are out there in a studio context. So we'll teach you audio engineering, signal flow, how to use mixing desks, how microphones work, speakers work, and so on. Also how to work with musicians, how to work in live sound contexts, set up speakers, do monitor mixing, how to work with a band and things like this. So it's a module that gets you ready to work in the creative sector, and also gets you a really good understanding of why the tools work the way they do for the professional context that they're used in. So the theme of the second year is all about taking that really in-depth fundamental knowledge that we developed in the first year and applying it in real-world industrial contexts. So having a look at how these skills will be deployed in the real world, but also starting to think about the limitations of the technology out there and how we might circumvent some of those limitations to develop new innovative tools for audio and music. So let's have a look at the modules in the second year. In semester 1, the first module is Sound Synthesis, Sampling and Design. So this is a module centered on how do we get a computer to generate sound for us. And this will cover everything from more industrial applications, like getting a mobile phone to talk to us via a speech synthesizer, through to some more creative applications of sound synthesis. So for example, musical synthesizers, or modeling acoustic musical instruments like a guitar, for example. So all about how do you generate sound from a computer and design the architectures for doing that. Just below that, we have the research paper. Now, this is a really important module. So it's about if you have a problem in any of your professional life outside of this degree, it's teaching you the skills to be able to go out, do some research, and find the information you need to solve that problem. So in this module, we'll also teach you the academic writing skills and technical writing skills you need for the rest of the program, and also that you would need in your future career. How to analyze data statistically, and also a bit about project management. So how do you manage projects? So the research paper is a really important module for your development. So your resilience as either as a creative professional or as a technologist or software developer is quite centered around your ability to solve problems. And the research paper module will teach you how to go out and find pieces of information to solve whatever problem it is that you're trying to circumvent. In the second semester, we have the Programming Interfaces and Interaction module. So this builds directly on the Introduction to Programming module, where you take the programming skills that you've learnt, and we build on those and teach you some more advanced programming skills. And we look at how you can apply them to develop a piece of software for some kind of end user. And we'll also, in this module, introduce you to object-oriented programming and professional tools that are used in the industry for audio and music technology software development. Just below that module, we have studio production. So this module is centered on using your audio engineering skills to develop larger scale projects. So we'll look at more in-depth kind of recording skills, more in-depth mixing and mastering skills, also looking at how you take your studio work and get it out there and get it ready to a point that it can be a commercially ready project. So that's the modules in the second year. So the theme of the final year of this degree is all about giving students the skills and abilities to negotiate the discipline and focus on areas of individual interest, and be able to develop projects in areas of which they may want to gain employment after the degree. So really giving them the support they need to position themselves best for success when they graduate. So let's have a look at the individual modules. So normally in the final year of a degree, you'll see this really big chunky module, which is called a dissertation module or system development module, something like this, where students will develop a large-scale project. Now, what we find in those modules is students do a bit of work at the beginning and lots of work at the end, and the middle tends to be a bit patchy, and that's because they have deadlines for other modules. So what we've done on this degree is actually split up the dissertation module into 2 individual modules, one either a semester. And this basically is to make sure that students are getting the most out of the programme and getting the most skills from the teaching team. So in the first semester, you get the negotiated project proposal module first. So this module is where students start to develop prototypes of systems, or start experimenting with audio recording or prototyping projects, essentially to develop a proposal for something they want to continue with in the second semester. So it's an opportunity to get lots of feedback on their ideas and have lots of support in developing their own kind of ideas of what they would like to focus specifically on in the second semester. Just below that module, we have the audio signal processing module. So this one is about working with signals, audio signals on our computers, so how to manipulate sound digitally, how to build effects, how to also analyze audio signals on our computers and different analysis tools. Really important one for people who might want to go into software development and making audio effects after the degree, but also for those people who want to work in studios. It's really important that you have a good understanding of how audio signals are being processed by your plugins, for example. In the second semester, we have the negotiated project development module, which is where you take the final result of the negotiated project proposal module and you develop that into a large-scale project. Now, the really nice thing about this module is that you'll choose an area of which you want to study, and then you'll be assigned a supervisor who's an expert in that area who will help guide you through the process. So it's a chance to get some really, in-depth understanding of an area that interests you. Just below that, we have the artificial intelligence and creativity module. So this one is all about teaching students about machine learning, artificial intelligence, and how to use these tools creatively in pieces of software. Now, AI and machine learning, so on, are really, really important things in computing at the moment. So it's important that students have an understanding of these concepts and how to use them before they exit the degree. And the nice thing about learning it on this program is that you won't just be learning how they work, you'll be applying them in really interesting ways. So for example, you might be able to develop a system that automatically mixes music for you, or automatically generates a musical composition for you, and things like this. So that's the final year of the degree course. Now let's have a look at the assessment methods. So the majority of the assessments on this program are coursework based, which means you'll be developing practical projects a lot of the time and submitting those with written documentation for your assessments. The things you can expect to be assessed on are project portfolios, which might be where we have set you a set of tasks on a specific module and you put those together with some written documentation to submit, some software, audio recordings, research papers you've written, and also industry briefs. So this is a really industry-centric program where we're bringing in industry experts to give you insights to how the real world works all the time. And as part of that, we'll also be making sure that your assessments are industry relevant. So we're preparing you as much as we can for the job you want after the course. You'll also have some in-class tasks. So a lot of the time in interviews, you'll have a competency test nowadays, and that might be in the creative sector, in live sound or whatever, and also in software development, where you'll come in and be given a task to do, and you'll be assessed on that as part of the interview to make sure you can do what you say you can do. So we'll be mimicking that a few times throughout the program, just to make sure, again, you're prepared for that process after the degree. You'll also engage in presentations and system demonstrations, but the main purpose of the assessment strategies for this degree is to make sure every student who exits the course has a diverse portfolio of work that will provide a really unique edge in a competitive job market. So it's all about making sure you have a body of work that you can go out and show to an employer afterwards that will be impressive and help you get that job that you're after. And importantly, this degree has no formal exams. So we've chosen not to have exams as part of this programme because we don't believe that's a good assessment method to train you for the jobs that you'll be going into afterwards. And we made this decision in collaboration with industry. So there'll be no formal exams as part of this degree, which you might be very happy about. So to finish off this talk, I just wanted to let everybody know that this degree is accredited by James, who are the Joint Audio Media Education Support Group. So James are an industry professional body who assess the quality of degrees to make sure that students studying on the courses have the best possible opportunity for going into employment after the degree, to make sure the teaching team have all the skills and expertise to teach the course and that the facilities are top notch as well. So this is kind of an extra quality assurance to show you that this degree here at Plymouth is of a very high quality. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this course video today. If you have any questions about the programme or university life more generally, please don't hesitate to drop me an email at edward.braun@plymouth.ac.uk. I'll be more than happy to arrange a time for a telephone call or online voice chat and so on. Also, if you have Twitter, do follow the programme at MusicTechPLY. We post stories about staff and students on there, so please do follow us. But like I said, if you have any questions, please do drop me an email. Thank you.